Okay, welcome to another episode of the Joe Dunnrite Show. Today we're going to talk about weed whackers. And a few years back I had a Stihl FS44, which was in its day a really good weed whacker. Pretty heavy duty, pretty high power. But one season it just wouldn't start. And I was frustrated because as you see out here, there's a lot. We have 45 acres. Now, I don't weed whack all 45 acres, but we do a lot of weed whacking here. And a lot of trees before mowing. And I was a little frustrated because I couldn't get it to work. So I ran down to the local Stihl dealership and bought a carburetor rebuild kit and some fuel line and a little one of those fuel pump bubbles. And I probably spent 35 bucks on trying to get that thing to run, and I just couldn't get it to run. So I was kind of in a bind. I didn't want to go down and buy a new Stihl at the time. They're $300 or $400. I didn't want to buy an Echo, which is what my local shop guy down the street wanted to sell me. So I ran to Walmart and I did something that sometimes I do for a one-off or a two-off type of tool. We talked before about stuff from Home Depot, or not Home Depot, but from Harbor Freight and the Chinese stuff, and it's good for one or two tools. One of my episodes on the Maddox compression tester, something I'm going to use a couple times and then probably never use again. But for chainsaws and weed whackers, my better judgment said go spend $500 or $600, but I just couldn't do it. So what I did is I went down to Walmart and I think I paid $68 for this Hyper Tough weed whacker. And I thought, if I get through the season with it, I'll be happy and be thrilled. And I'm on my 4th season with this, which is crazy. It fires up. You pump the little bubble 10 or 15 times. You put it over to choke. Pull it 5 times, just like the instructions say on the side. Well printed. Fires up. Put it to 2. Let it run for a minute. Put it to 3. And this thing's a machine. And one of the things I really like about it is the off-on button. When it's running, it's on the on button. But to shut it off, you just hold the 0 down. And then when it kills, you just let it go and it pops back up and it's ready to go next time. And so for about 3 seasons, and a season here is from about May till about November. It's been really good. The one issue I had with it was the head on it stopped working. It was a bump head, and the bump head stopped working, and I called Hyper Tough up, and I of course couldn't get a hold of anybody, and I thought there's probably no warranty for it anyway. So what I did is I bought this replacement head. I think it's a Shakespeare, and the way it works is it actually, you push the buttons in and then you add these strands. You see I pull that out, you push the button and you add these strands, and so you just go in and you cut a bunch of strands, you throw them in your back pocket, and believe it or not, they actually last quite a while. And I had a reel of this other stuff. I think it's 65 gauge, and I think it'll take a 120 gauge. I just gonna buy the biggest ones I can. But I think I paid 25 bucks for this Shakespeare. I don't know where I got it. Probably might have got it at Rural King. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up. I mean, I was pretty impressed. I am pretty impressed. For 68 bucks, my yard guy that does some of the repair work for me wasn't thrilled that I didn't spend $300 or $400 on an Echo. But, it's held up really well, and I can't say anything bad about it. And eventually it'll probably crap out. But let me tell you what I do, though, is when I'm done using it for the season, not usually so much during the season, but I'll start it up, warm it up, drain all the fuel out of it, and then run it till it's bone dry. And that's pretty much true with any piece of equipment. You want to run it so it's bone dry. And I got a kink in that line right there, which is interesting, but it still runs. I just got done using it. It's still actually warm. But don't let these sit for very long with the fuel. It says right here, max ethanol 10%, which means that the rubber parts are somewhat ethanol resistant. But I'll tell you, ethanol is the worst thing, thanks to our government, that they introduced to our lawn tools. The ethanol is just really hard on gaskets, on rubber diaphragms. Most of these use a Tillotson style or a Walbro style carburetor, a diaphragm, what's called a reed valve carburetor, and you can't let them sit all over the season with ethanol. And a lot of times I'll run Sta-Bil in them, which helps kind of kill the ethanol. But anyway, if you're out to buy one and you need something, and I would give it a try. I've been really happy with it. And the head broke, but whatever. That was after 2 years of use. And this actually works really good. Get yourself the heaviest line you can put in there, and it'll just run like a champ. But that's all. Thanks for joining us and joining me with the Joe Dunnrite Show. And if you've got some questions, comments, or concerns, let me know, or any experiences with any of my reviews or my equipment. Be happy to hear from you. I'm always interested in learning new things. So stay in touch, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.